I'm Donald Drinkard, and I am an instructor at the Tennessee College of Applied Technology. I'm over the Health Information Management and the Administrative Office Technology programs. My story is of addiction and poverty. Uh, I really had more than one addiction, although I haven't had any alcohol since 1986, so I faced that a long time ago. My gambling addiction is what really caused my poverty, and that's really a no-brainer. Um, I had a friend that told me a couple of years ago that he was going to the casinos in Tunica uh, for the weekend, and I told him, I said, well, the last time I went to Tunica, I stayed 8 years. And he laughed, and I said, I'm not joking. I stayed 8 years. I abandoned my job and just really everything. Um, and of course, there were ups and downs through that whole time. The last couple of years were really, I was ready for it to end. And I knew I was not strong enough to do it myself. I could see where I was headed. And I cried out to God for 2 years to please stop me. And through a series of events, He did. And I ended up here in Paris at the Damascus Road homeless shelter, destitute with very little more than the clothes that I was wearing. Uh, the very first thing, well, first of all, I will say that I did believe that God had somehow intervened, and not only did He put a stop to what I was doing, but He was going to give me another opportunity in life. And so the spiritual part is what I decided to take care of first, and really was the only thing at that time that I could control. So I had been watching the gospel network, and somebody had told me about the Eastwood Church of Christ, and I wanted to be baptized, so I walked down Eastwood Street and went to the office. There was a very nice lady that was working in there that day, and she called one of the elders, and he came and talked to me for about 45 minutes, asked me a lot of questions, and then I was baptized, and that's my church family still today. Um, Getting a job was I couldn't get a job. I had no recent work history, even though I had a college degree and had worked in finance and in the healthcare field. Um, I was in no position really to get that kind of a job. So um, I was trying at fast food places. I just couldn't get hired. I had 2 interviews. One of them, I just almost bugged the lady to death, and she finally gave me an interview, but I couldn't get a job. So someone told me about the Tennessee Rehabilitation Center. So I made an appointment there, and I went, and they started me there in the workshop. Um, it was not much money. It was production. But it was enough to move out and of the homeless shelter and rent a room in a mobile home with a very sweet lady. Um, did that for me and I stayed there for about 3 years. Um, I got odd jobs too. People in the church mostly that would hire me to do odd jobs. So that's how I survived for that period of time. And I don't think I would have been able to survive through all of that. It was rough. Had it not been for my faith, and the loving people that I knew in the church. So after, I don't know, maybe 6 months, I'm not sure of the time frame, but the Rehabilitation Center hired me to be a job coach for special needs adults, which I really loved, but it was part-time as needed. Uh, and so it really wasn't uh, providing me with what I needed to be completely independent. And working with those people, I saw how hard they tried, and how limited they were, and I thought I can do better than this. So I talked to them, and they agreed to send me to the Tennessee College of Applied Technology. And I was interested in computers because I knew nothing about computers. And that, of course, was another thing that kept me from getting a good job because everything's computers. So I went through the computer class, which was a year and 8 month program. About, I guess, maybe 6 months into that, they hired me for work study, and I started working in the office. And then about 6 months before I graduated, they hired me part time, and so I was going to school in the mornings, and I was working in the office in the evenings. Then I got a chance. I graduated. I remember Dr. White brought me in and said, we don't have a full time position for you. I can't hire you full time. I want to, but I will keep you on part time. And so I decided to do that, hoping something would come available. And so an opportunity came up with the McKinsey TCAP where they were closing one of their satellite classes. So I was able to teach that out. Dr. White got me to teach that out for a couple of months. And then I came back to work at Paris full time. Um, and then at the end of 2014, a position did come available for the health information management instructor. And since I had a background in the healthcare field, both as a provider and administrator, and a business degree, I got that job. And I'm in my 7th year of teaching now. And a few years ago, Dr. White asked me if I would be willing to be over the administrative office program, and so I agreed to that. So I do that. This is my 3rd year with that program. I'm also been active in Skills USA on the state level, and I'm also the school's lead advisor. So that gives me just more of an opportunity to help people. And had I coped today, I don't have any problems coping today. I get frustrated like everybody. I'm not perfect. I have, emotions. But all I have to do really is to look back and to see how well I have it today and be grateful. And I just don't have any problems coping. I have people I can talk to. That usually helps me. So, but making me happy, it is being able to help other people. To me, that's really what life is all about. Is sharing your knowledge and your strength, your faith, your hope, just helping people come to a better place in life. And so I try to do that in everything that I do. And I guess the simplest way to say what not being unhappy makes me happy today, because I feel like I am a happy person. As far as advice, I guess that I would say don't be afraid to reach out. I mean, I was in a desperate situation. I had to reach out. I did start with something that I felt like that I could get right by getting right with God. To me, that was a measure of progress right there to start off with. But there's so many resources in this community, so many wonderful people. The 3 places that I've mentioned that helped me all want to help people. That's what they do. That's what they're there for. And so, don't be afraid. Be patient. I got a little bit of progress as time went by, but it really took me about 4 years to get a job, and a full-time job that I could be comfortable and support myself fully. So I hope that's helped somebody. If you're out there and you're suffering, I just want you to know that, you know, God's there and people are there. He puts people in your lives that will help you. And I hope you will um, um, utilize those resources.